Did you recently go out and get the iPhone 13 Pro, or maybe the iPhone 13 Pro Max, or maybe you're still waiting on that iPhone 13 Pro Max because it's way delayed right now? Regardless of the case, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, but I'll get to that here in just a second. We're talking about iPhone 13 Pro hidden features that also work on iPhone 12 as long as you have a certain operating system. Let's get into this. Okay, right here I have the latest and greatest iPhone iOS 15 operating system loaded up here on my iPhone. Now this happens to be the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Yep, I'm one of those ones that does not have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I'm actually still undecided on whether or not I'm even going to order one, because you see these features that I'm about to show you, I'm gonna show you that they work on the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, as long as you have the operating system iOS 15, which is the most current operating system. Now, if you have an iPhone that is an iPhone 6S or newer, you should be able to upgrade to the new iOS 15 operating system. With that being said, that's the little secret that a lot of people aren't talking about. You can actually get so many of these features that you would otherwise think you need to go out and purchase the new iPhone 13 Pro or the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now there is the iPhone 13 and a lot of these same features work on the iPhone 13 as well. I've just always been using the Pro version since they launched the Pro series. So that's what I'm talking about here. So let's jump right into it and get to that first hidden feature that you should know about to really maximize the new iOS 15. All right, iPhone 13 Pro hidden feature number 1 is live text, copy and paste, and a bonus hidden feature I'll mention here in just a second. My light is flashing back here, but I don't care. I'm gonna roll with it. If you don't see this feature immediately available, go into your settings app, and under general, and then language and region, you wanna make sure that the live text is green. That has to be on in order for this to work. As long as it's on, then you can go to your camera app, and then when you hold any text written or typed, you'll see this little icon right here down in the corner. This icon right here, when you tap on it, will actually select all that text. You can then look it up, you can translate it, you can select all, you can then even adjust what you want to select, and you can copy it. We could then head over to the Notes app and paste it directly into the Notes app. Just like that, I've taken some handwritten text and pasted it into the Notes app. Let me go fix this light. It's starting to bother me now. All right, that's much better. Let's continue on. Let's do one more example of that. We're gonna open up the camera app again. I'm just gonna grab this HDMI switcher remote, hold it up, and as soon as I hold it up there, you see the little icon right there. I tap on that, and now it is reading the text, and I can copy it. Now, it's a little blurry there, so let's see if this really does work. So we're gonna select all, copy, go back over to our Notes app, and paste. And just like that, we've taken that text as well. Now, here's a little thing that you might not have heard of. You can actually use this to input text in a variety of places, including Safari, also in Notes here. So let's do that first. So right there, you see now, when you tap on the screen, you see that the little live text icon is there. So I click on that, and now let's bring this back in again. Hold it right about there. And as you can see, it instantly populated. I click the insert button, and now I have that text directly in my notes. This is great for scanning documents, books, pages, taking notes from somebody else's notes. Okay, well, we gotta have some limitation there. Don't do anything that is cheating in school. I do not condone that one bit. But let me show another example here. If we come over to Safari and tap in the search or enter website and tap one more time, you'll see the little live text icon right there. It'll bring up the camera, and we can hold up the URL, insert, go, and just like that, we've gone to the URL directly in Safari. It even works in the phone app for scanning phone numbers, which is pretty cool. All right, hidden feature number 2, Safari improvements. Now, the most notable one is the fact that the URL bar or the search bar has been dropped down to the bottom. And we can see that by tapping here and going to a new tab. And you can see now that the search bar, the URL bar, is right there down at the bottom, which is kind of nice to have it closer instead of reaching up and accidentally hitting that notification that just annoyingly pops down just as you were tapping in there to enter in a new URL. I've done that many a times. But if we were to say go to a website like my Affiliate Marketing Pros membership website, then you could be in the website right here, but what you might not know is you can quickly switch back and forth between 2 different websites simply by sliding the tab bar here on the bottom. It's a great way to compare information or switch back and forth between 2 websites or multiple websites for that matter, because we could certainly add another website here. And now we can search between 3 different websites. Really simple and easy. Something else you might notice is that the refresh button is right here. I can refresh this website right, which we've been able to do before, but this is something new. We can actually pull from the top and it will refresh. Swipe over to this website, pull down, let go, refresh. It's about time we got that feature to be able to pull and refresh in Safari. Super easy and fast. Another improvement in my opinion is how they manage the tabs. If you go into the tabs, you can see the various pages that are open on your phone. And before they had it in this tile kind of folder-like view, but it was always difficult to see the actual thumbnail of the website. So I do like how they have repositioned this. However, how do we close a tab easily? That little tiny X is so tiny. I mean, look at how big my finger is trying to hit that little tiny X. Fortunately, you can just swipe to the left and easily close tabs that you no longer want open. You can even organize tabs into certain groups. Pretty cool. If you're into more private browsing and you don't want your browser, your phone to track what websites you've been to, maybe you're doing some hidden covert surprise birthday party for your spouse and you don't want them to know, okay, never mind. We won't go into why you want a private browsing, but you want to be secure and private about it. Maybe you're in a public place on a public Wi-Fi. You don't want anybody else seeing what websites you're going to. You can simply click on the tab button right here and then click where it says 1 tab, and you will see right there now private with the little hand. If we click on that, it's going to open a private browsing mode directly in Safari. To get back to your regular browsing tabs, you can just click the little tab icon again, click on the private, go back to your regular tabs, and now you're in browsing on a regular website. There are several other improvements in Safari, but those are the notable ones that I really wanted you guys to know about because I'm really enjoying the new features inside Safari. Speaking of privacy, we can finally hide our IP address directly in our phone from being visible to our ISP, Internet Service Provider. So if you don't want your Internet Service Provider to know what websites you're going to and you want to keep that private, you now have the ability to make that private as default. And then even specifically say which Wi-Fi networks you want to keep private and which Wi-Fi networks, such as maybe your home Wi-Fi network, you're okay and not keeping it so locked down and private. In order to do that, you're going to come over here into Settings and then down to Safari. And then Safari, you're going to see a little tab down here a little ways that says Hide IP Address. If you click on that, it'll give you a few options here: trackers and websites, trackers only, or off. In this case, trackers and websites. This is going to make sure that your IP address is not visible to any websites. Now, do keep in mind that if you have this locked down this far and saying that no trackers and no websites, if you have some type of coupon rebates or other websites or memberships or benefits that have to track your usage, there's a chance you might not get rewarded for some activities you're doing on those websites if you have all of this turned off. You'd have to check with those specific companies in order to make sure they can still track your activity if you want to get your rewards and your coupons and discounts. If you're in a Wi-Fi network, say as your home network, and you don't need to have it completely locked down and have a private IP address, you can actually designate that Wi-Fi network every time you connect to it to not be a private one, so that maybe you do get all of your benefits from your rebates, Rakuten, whatever it's called these days. To do this, you're going to go into Settings and then into Wi-Fi, and then whatever Wi-Fi network you want to alter from the default Hide My IP status, click on the little I there on the right, and then right here you're gonna see that this Wi-Fi network by default is private address, and it has a private Wi-Fi address right there. If I uncheck that, hit continue, now this IP address is not private to my very secure network here at my office. That's gonna give you a lot more flexibility, because when you have it completely shut down, such as when you're using a VPN, you're gonna have some websites that aren't even gonna load, such as Amazon, if you have completely shut down IP addresses and private. So if you run into problems with certain websites, chances are it's because you've got your security settings locked way far down that those websites don't even have the ability to operate as they normally do. Following along the lines of privacy and knowing what your phone is actually doing and tracking, my number 4 hidden feature that you probably should turn this feature on just so that you're informed. I'm not one that sits there and is all paranoid about what apps are doing what, as long as I know that it's not a risky app to begin with. But it is nice to know what those apps are doing on your iPhone 13 Pro. So in order to check and see what apps are doing, you need to enable a little secret hidden feature that a lot of people don't know about. In order to activate this feature, you're gonna go into Safari, and you're gonna be able to tell your phone to record the app activity. So you wanna scroll down here to privacy, and in privacy, you're gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom, and right down here at the bottom, you're gonna see record app activity. This you want to check and turn on. When you have that on, it's gonna keep a 7-day log of all the apps and what data or services they accessed on your phone, such as microphone, camera, text entries, you name it. Your iPhone now will tell you and keep a log and let you see that log of what those apps actually access. Now you can make a better informed decision on whether or not you want that app to continue to have access to that information on your phone. Okay, before I get to the final 5th hidden feature, I'm gonna give you guys a bonus insight into something you should have turned off on your iPhone right now. 2 reasons: 1, for privacy, and 2, for performance. There is a feature that is turned on by default in your iPhone and your new iPhone 13 Pro or iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I would recommend that you turn it off, because it is something that not only is tracking all of your movement via GPS, but it is also going to be taking up valuable resources on your phone that you should otherwise be dedicated to other things on your device. So what you want to do is turn off the live tracking of your activity on your phone via GPS. You're going to go into settings, you're going to go in privacy, you're going to go into location services, and then scroll all the way to the bottom. So you're going to go past all of your apps, and all the way at the bottom, way down here, you're going to see system services. Tap on system services, and what you want to do is right here, significant locations. You want to tap on significant locations. It's going to ask for your Face ID, and here you go. Right here by default, you guys probably have significant locations turned on, and it will even show you your activity of where your phone, i.e. you, have been in recent months. And so what I would recommend doing is clearing that history and then unchecking that significant locations. Now, if you don't care, like I don't care where my locations are being tracked because I got nothing to hide, that wasn't the reason why I personally wanted to turn that off. The reason I decided to turn it off was because I did determine that it was using a significant amount of resources on the go, keeping track of that location and using that information to give your apps certain insights and information. For example, maps. Have you ever noticed that when your iPhone is connected to CarPlay in your vehicle, that it will pop up and give a suggestion of where you might be going at that very moment, giving you directions and traffic information? Now, if that's something that's important to you, keep this feature turned on, because you will lose that when you turn this feature off. For my case, driving around Tucson here, I know where I'm going. I know how long it should take me to get there. I can still see traffic information if I want to. I don't need it to try to predict where I'm gonna go and give me information based on that. So I turn that off so it's not using resources to try to generate all that data and information when I'm on the move. Number 5, and this one's a good one. I'm glad you stayed till the end. In fact, if you stayed till the end, I would appreciate a comment down there. Let me know which one of these hidden features you already knew and which one kind of surprised you. Let's get into number 5 here. Number 5 is private email addresses, but one step further than private email addresses, the ability to create as many private email addresses that you want so you don't have to use your primary email address for things like subscriptions or other user accounts that you might create, that you don't want those companies really to getting your email address, and you have the control to be able to just discard an email address, for example, if you're getting too much spam on that email address after a certain period of time. So let me show you how to do this. What you want to do is go into the Settings app and then click on your name, Apple ID up there at the top. And then in here, you're going to click on iCloud. And in iCloud, you're going to see a few new features in iOS 15 on your iPhone 13 Pro or Pro Max. And first one here is going to be Private Relay Beta. I'll touch on this really quickly here. This is kind of like your website browsing activity. This gives a lot more security to the links that you click inside of emails. In fact, every time you open up a marketing email and click on a link inside that marketing email, chances are that reports that activity, that click, reports activity back to the sender saying that you've clicked on that link, you've opened the email, and that gives them a lot of useful data. Now, I'm a marketer, I own a company called Affiliate Marketing Pros, and that's a lot of valuable information that I gather when I have people that have opted in to my content, that have purchased my courses on affiliate marketing for their companies. And you know, that is something that helps me better serve my list because I know who's opening the emails, what links they're clicking on. That's all great, but some companies abuse that, unfortunately. So it's nice to be able to click on Private Relay Beta. It is in beta right now, but if you turn that on, then you're going to be reporting way less data, if any at all, back to the sender of that email so that you can just kind of keep things a little bit more private and secure. Unfortunately, there are malicious companies out there that use that tracking information in order to send additional emails or additional information. And unfortunately, even virus hackers and hackers use that as a portal into computers. Now, I'm not getting into all that. I'm not trying to be scared about this and give you some type of fear-based mentality. I'm just telling you that if this option is checked and is available to us, we might as well make our emails more secure so that we're not letting all that data and information or potential vulnerability to viruses or other hacks into our inbox. Now, the cool feature here, hide my email. Now, you might have already seen or used Apple Sign-In. Apple Sign-In is fairly new. I've used it on several different websites to try it out, and it is very, very seamless. It's easy to use, easy to set up. The one complaint that I have about it is when I go back to some websites, I can't remember. Did I sign up with Facebook? Did I sign up with Google? Did I sign up with Apple? Or did I just use a good old-fashioned email and password? I hope at some point websites can actually give us a little clue and say, or I guess we need to keep track of it ourselves, hey, you used Apple Sign-In. So I'm slowly merging all of my logins that are available to Apple Login over to Apple Login just to make it all one standard. But that is what you're going to see here initially. If you've ever used Apple Sign-In, all of these random email addresses are created in order to mask your primary email address. The cool feature, the hidden feature that I want to show you guys here is that you have the ability to create your own random private email address. Right here at the top, you see the Create New Address. You click on Create New Address. It's going to come up with Hide My Email. It'll just generate a random email address. In this case, it's motel_debut_0v. Very random. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's a secret hidden message in there. But what's cool about this is I don't even mind showing you because I'm actually going to delete this email address here in a second, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But we're going to label this. We're going to just say YouTube video demo, and then we can add additional note about it saying delete immediately. And now that we have that, we can click on next. And we're all set. We have a new email address that we could use for subscriptions or opting into things. And it's still going to forward to your primary email address on your default email address on your phone. So it's not like emails won't get through, but you have an extra layer of control. How many times have you thought, man, I just need to get a new email address because my main email address is just getting loaded with spam? Well, that's because we use our primary email address for so many things, or we have maybe a separate Gmail account for doing that, but then that's a separate account we gotta log into. What's nice about this is we have a random email address that we can use for a variety of things, and delete it at any time, and that connection to us is no longer relevant. And I'll show you here how to do that. So we click on done now. I now have that email address. I can scroll down here and find it in the list. And as you can see right there, YouTube video demo, there's all the information related to it. I could edit any of that information about the labels and the notes, or I can click on deactivate email address. When I deactivate that email address, this email address no longer exists. Those subscriptions that I subscribe to no longer can communicate with me. I don't have to go and worry about unsubscribing and figuring out who has that email address anymore. So that is my 5th hidden feature that I wanted you guys to know about: creating private email addresses. If you got value out of this information, I would appreciate it if you would share it with your friends, share it on social media, but most importantly, give me a comment down there. Let me know if you like this information and you want more of this kind of content, showing you guys what I know, because I love tech and I love researching things and I love figuring things out. And I'm here to help you guys understand it and learn it in an easier way than just trying to read manuals. My name is Michael Mansell. I appreciate the subscription. Why don't you check out one of these 2 videos, because they might interest you as well.